Geo Thornton with another Manaless Dredge league. So in our previous league, we went 2-3. We went 2-0 versus a couple of Delver decks, and then we lost against two combo decks and Green Zenith. We're gonna run the same 75. Just kind of to recap, what we're looking for at the moment is to determine one, whether Force of Will is really castable with only Price Amalgam and Narcomoeba as a sideboard card. We're looking at whether Once Upon a Time is worth the slot in the deck. We were about 50-50 in the previous league, and it still is probably the worst card in the deck, but it may just be a necessary evil. And then we are also looking at the performance of whether we have enough dredgers. We had one game in the last league where we were short on dredgers. I still feel like that's very rare, but it's at least something worth noting. And then the final thing that we'll be looking at is our performance against combo decks. I believe since we've come back, are like probably 4-12 against combo decks. In leagues that I've recorded, I believe I'm 0-3 or 1-4 or something like that. So it's worth noting that that's a pretty big issue, and it might just mean that Manaless needs to adjust. We could bring in Chancellor of the Annexes. We could bring in Leyline of Sanctity. We could run Leyline of the Void again. Or we could just hedge those matchups and hope that we play against fair decks. Today, that's kind of what we're doing. We have the forces, but that's really it as far as combo matchup, along with the hand disruption, obviously. Anyway, let's get into the round. All right, we're here round one, playing against no props. We have a very fast hand. Depending on what we're playing against, this could be a very quick game. We will absolutely keep. Once Upon a Time. Okay, might be playing against elves. A Taiga. Chromox. Is this the red-green initiative deck, or whatever it is? Is this Belcher? Oh, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. Phantasmagorian. Alright, we have a pretty blistering hand. If they don't kill us, we're probably going to overwhelm them at the end of this turn. The double Street Wraith Phantasmagorian hand with a bridge is pretty solid here. We're at 18. Caves of Chaos Adventure. Alright, so we are absolutely primed to go off. We're actually going to do this at the end of their second main phase as well. That way any prize amalgams that we get will come at the end of this turn. So hold control, click, click, click. Cycle. And then we will do that again. And we will cycle. Okay, not the best dredges, but we are in really good shape going into this next turn. Dredge 5 here, get another Creeping Chill off of this. I definitely intended to do stuff there. It's alright. We'll attack. Probably should have just cast Hogak, if we're being honest. If they choose to trade with Icarid, that gets 3 bridge from belows. Yeah, that was probably a little bit rough. And they take the trade. That's fine. We get the initiative. We don't have any basic lands. And we're down to 1 bridge. That said, we get a Hogak now. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at the end of turn, we'll pitch a bunch of cards to our Phantasmagorian. With what we have, we're probably good to go on the win. If we're being honest, I probably should have cast Hogak in my pre-main or pre-combat main. At the very least, probably... Okay, we won the game. At the very least, I probably should have sacrificed another Shadow to Cabal Therapy there. So we definitely want Force of Vigors. Yeah, I think we're just going to rock the Force of Vigors. I think that's all that we really need here. And we will cut probably Creeping Chills. Alright, game 2. Let's see if our opponent puts us on the player draw. They chose to play first. This hand is pretty good. We have Phantasmagorian, we've got Stinkweed Imp, we've got a Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is definitely good in this matchup. It's not always the best. Fable is fine. Let's go ahead and cast this. Takes 3 Wraith. There's Force of Vigor as well. That's pretty good. I'm tempted to force, but I don't think we're going to. We're just going to pitch Phantaz and go for a fairly quick start here. They could be running Fairy Macabre. And that might be a reason to hold on to Street Wraith. They know about it, which makes it a little bit worse. Okay. They have all the mana in the world. So that basically nullifies our grief. But I don't think that that matters too much at this stage of the game. Yeah, I think we're fine with just letting this resolve and not worrying about this Force of Vigor or this grief. So given that, let's actually hold control here. Pitch, pitch, pitch. Any order. And then pitch, pitch, pitch. Any order. And then we'll hold... I don't know if this actually lets us control the... Yeah, we don't have any control over the order. I was hoping, but obviously not. Alright, so we'll get Icarid here. Exile Grief. We'll draw 6. Get an Archamoeba. We'll just crack in. 2 bridges. We'll get 2 tokens off of this. Next turn we'll have Nether Shadow and 2 Icarids. Our opponent's got 2 cards in hand. I can't imagine that they have anything that's going to win the game from this position. These decks tend to try and just get ahead and keep that lead. I guess a hard cast Leyline of the Void would be awkward. Minsk and Boo is fine. The question is, do they sacrifice it just to clear my bridges, or do they pump it up and try and race? I think if they try and race, we're going to win, and it's not close. We'll see. All right, they're going to try and race. I pretty confidently will throw the Narcomoeba in front of a 2-2 if it means saving 2 damage here. Probably not. We could turn it into 4 if, like, we could trade 4 for 3 if they attack with the Boo. Let's see what they decide to do here. They choose not to attack. Okay. So we're just going to build board advantage here. XL Street Wraith, XL Street Wraith, draw 6. I think we just pass here. We are at 16. They don't really have a... Yeah, they don't really have a good play here off of what they currently have on board. So we're just going to get 4 more zombies and be happy with our lives. Our opponent definitely should have flung something, most likely. We're pretty much attacking for lethal next turn. So 3, 6, plus 10, 16. Yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble going into next turn. They are going to go ahead and fling, which is fine. What are they flinging? Oh, they get to determine after it resolves. Okay, they're throwing it at my face. They're going to play another one. City of Traders. Initiative creature, sure. Alright, so let's get a couple of Icarids here. So they do have Fairy Macabre. That's fine. Drive to 6. 2 Narcomoebas. Okay, so if we attack with everything, they block 3 tokens. They take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That puts them to 3. All they have left is the Undermountain Adventurer. That actually seems pretty decent. I think that's what we're going to do. We should have attacked last turn, I believe. Probably should have sent this Narcomoeba at this Minskin Boo. Okay, so they go to 1. We take the initiative, which isn't super relevant here. And I believe that's our turn. We have 2 Narcomoebas for blockers. I think that we can live this turn. We might not be able to live this turn. We're going to 7. I think we're dead. I think that we punted this by not killing or not dealing 1 to the Minsk. Yeah, I think we're dead. Okay. So we block here and here. We take 4 and then he flings at us. We're dead. We need him to screw up, essentially. Yeah, we misplayed this. But we have game 3. Yeah, so he sends the squad. Block. Block. We take 4, go to 3, and then we take 5 and die. Yep. Alright. Next game. Since he's playing Fairy Macabre, we can cut the Force of Vigors. Probably just bring back in the Creeping Chills, if we're being honest. And just roll with that. So we'll take the draw. This is another decent hand. Hopefully this Once Upon a Time can find us a Street Wraith or a Phantasmagorian. A Street Wraith would be great here. So there's their own Once Upon a Time. They're just going Ancient Tomb Pass. Okay, we got a Street Wraith. Sent 2 bridges to the bottom, which is awkward. So we kind of have to assume that they have a Fairy Macabre. They wouldn't have kept a hand without a turn 1 play otherwise. Unless they were really counting on this Once Upon a Time to do something. Trinisphere is fine. It's not the end of the world. Alright, Phantasmagorian was great. Next turn we get to do a little bit of work here. They're going to need multiple Fairy Macabres to really make something out of that. We are going to go ahead and pitch an Icarid. Five mana, Chaos Adventurer is fine. Alright, let's activate Phantasmagorian. Activate Phantasmagorian. Alright, and if they don't Fairy Macabre us, we're in pretty good shape. If they don't double Fairy Macabre us, we're in pretty good shape regardless, I think. They've got something. Okay, let's see if they let this Icarid happen. I think if they fire off the Fairy Macabre, I'm going to fire off the Street Wraith. Okay, they're going for Bridge and Icarid. So we'll go ahead and cycle. Cycle again. We got a Creeping Chill. Next turn we'll have a couple of Nether Shadows to work with. Yeah, so we're going to take some damage this coming turn, but then we've got our graveyard pretty well reloaded, and we're going to have 2 Prize Amalgams to swing back with. So they've got a 7/5. I'm pretty sure that I can cast Hogak off of the Stratosphere, because it's still costing mana, it's just being paid differently. Don't quote me on that. I really would have liked to have been able to take the initiative, getting a shuffle and getting those 2 bridges back into our deck probably would have been pretty great. They chose to scry. Okay. Probably the green initiative guy. Or Minskenboo. Minskenboo. That's fine. Okay. We're taking 9. right. So we're gonna attack him. Probably just gonna attack for one. Let's see if we can cast Hogak. Black, black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can cast Hogak. So we're going to take initiative. This way we can shuffle our deck, get our other 2 bridges. We have an 8/8 to block. We still have, I believe, 2 Creeping Chill in the deck as well. Yeah, we have 2 Creeping Chill. We have 2 bridges. We're in pretty good shape here. We're in a little bit of danger, but as long as they can't deal 7 to us, and having gone down the Lost Well route, I think we're okay. I think I'm willing to trade a bridge from below here as well. Having this 8/8 with trample is pretty solid. I haven't always been the biggest fan of Hogak, but I think in this version of the deck specifically, he's very good. Okay, 8/6. So I can cast Hogak pretty much indefinitely. I'm definitely taking this trade if I have the option. So we'll block there. I feel like we probably just we absorb the damage and make a 2/2. We'll get 2 tokens here. So they get the initiative back. I don't know if they'll goad or not. I guess we really don't have anything here. We might as well just F6. Don't mind my cat. Fable the Mirror Breaker is fine. They have more? No. Okay. Dredge 5. So we're definitely casting a Hogak. The question becomes, how are we attacking this turn? So they can block here, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's pretty solid. It doesn't kill, but it puts them firmly on the back foot. We could kill Minsk and Boo if we attack with... I want to cast this Hogak as well. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll attack this way. So we'll send these two at Minsk and Boo. Actually, we'll send all of that at Minsk and Boo. No props, no props, no props. This means at best Minsk and Boo will be one loyalty, so he can't fling. Most likely they'll just let Minsk and Boo die. And then they'll take 4 or 5. They'll take 5. Okay, so this will leave them with Minsk and Boo on 1. They'll be dead to pretty much all of my creatures. This is a pretty okay series of events, honestly. So now we get Hogak, black, black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fairly confident that this game's going to end this turn. I'm fairly confident that this game's going to end with me winning. All right, we are 1-0. I will see you guys in round 2. Not the greatest hand of all time, but we've got Phantasmagorian and a Thug, plus Grief. Prismatic Vista. We've played against a few Prismatic Vista decks. That was good. So we'll move to discard. Oh, we were supposed to discard this Phantasmagorian. That's fine. Is this High Tide again? So we're going to pitch Bridge, Troll, Phantasmagorian. We're going to Grief pitch and Creeping Chill. I was going to say they'll probably Brainstorm, but they probably should have done that before. Dress Down. That's fine. Ponder's good. Having 2 Phantasmagorians is actually pretty great because you can choose to play conservative with your discards, but then you can also discard down to exactly 0 if you need to. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're running some main deck Rest in Peace. They also definitely have a Swords to Plowshares. That's fine. Okay, we got a Creeping Chill. So we have Icarid next turn. We're definitely going to be activating another Phantasmagorian, but We'll attack for 1. We're going to Cabal Therapy them. I think we're going for Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they're forcing it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and activate Phantaz. From here, we definitely Hogak Once Upon a Time. Black, Thug, Street Wraith, Imp. Hopefully we don't get Terminus. I feel like that card's long gone from Legacy at this point. Swords would be awkward, but we're going to have another 4 power on board coming into this next turn. All right, so yes. And Dredge 6. Attacking for lethal. Just settle the wreckage. A Wandering Emperor, that's fine. I don't even think that saves them. They go to 11. Okay, it does. 2, 4, 6, 8. They go to 3. We get 2 more tokens. All right, game 2. So we want Force of Vigors. We probably want Force of Wills to fight for those Force of Vigors. Creeping Chill is probably irrelevant here. I'm not 100% sure what else to cut. Probably some number of Hogak. Probably, I don't know, because keeping a green card is probably pretty important. We'll probably shave another Shadow, shave an Icarid, go down 1 Hogak, and probably shave a Grief. Keep Icarid, shave 2 Grief. I mean, we're keeping this hand. It's got no interaction, so we're very dead to a lot of things. We're going to go ahead and pitch Grave Troll. They're not guaranteed to have a Rest in Peace in their opening hand. It is contractually obligated that they do, but they did not. They probably have the Rest in Peace, but no land for it. Another Brainstorm. Okay. We're going to be leaning pretty heavily on this first 6 Dredge. And it did not. It did us pretty dirty there. We're going to go ahead and pitch the troll. We could pitch Prize Amalgam. This will hedge against... yeah, we're going to pitch Prize Amalgam. We have a Dredge 4. This lets us hedge against Rest in Peace. It lets us keep a green card in our hand and a Dredger in our hand. Okay, Narset's fine. That actually doesn't do anything for us. Supreme Verdict is fine. Draw 4. We're going to go ahead and kill Narset just to take away a draw outlet. But, like, its static effect doesn't do anything except kill us with wheels. And then we're just going to pitch Thug again, I'm pretty sure. This is a little bit slower game, which opens us up to Rest in Peace eventually. But basically we're putting them in a position where they have to Wrath us at some point. They'll probably just Swords this Icarid, if we're being honest. Okay, there's Cabal Therapy. That's pretty solid. I'm probably just going to go ahead and Cabal Therapy them. I want to save the Icarid. They definitely have a force of some sort. Oof. Okay. We're definitely just attacking. We only have one bridge, so it's not like the end of the world. So there goes Shark Typhoon. We'll take 5. What are we pitching? Excuse me. Sorry. What are we pitching is the question. So we're probably pitching the Thug again. We could just pitch Grave Troll at this point. It's so risky to pitch the Grave Troll. We're just going to do it. We can fade Rest in Peace one more time. Here comes the Wrath. We'll get Icarid back and Nether Shadow back. Dredge the Grave Troll. Okay, we won. All right, 2-0. We'll see you guys in round 3. All right, welcome to round 3. We are 2-0. This hand is very bad. I don't think that it's a mulligan, but it's not a good hand. All right, Thug makes this reasonable. Go to discard. Pitch Phantasmagorian. Baleful Strix. Okay. These grindier matchups generally favor us. I'm not sure about the Grixis version of this deck. Unless it's like a Strifo pile or something. We'll go ahead and pitch our cards. Somewhat awkward that we can't get our Icarid back without giving up Hogak. I'm debating it because Hogak's not going to do all that much in this matchup. It's a very big creature, which is hard for them to kill. I think that we're just going to hold. Dredge 4. Alright, now we're in pretty great shape. Not going to offer this trade. I will grief them. Probably Fable. Snapcaster is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Coolgun's Command doesn't really do all that much against us. Yeah, we'll just take Snapcaster. Snapcaster or Fable. Probably Fable. And we're definitely actually going to cast this Hogak too. Black, black. Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill. Honestly, probably one of the Icarids. Grief. Do we just give up on the Phantasmagorian plan? Probably. Is this this underground seep was in there? It was in their hand, I believe. Oh, we're in their upkeep. Okay, yeah. I'm like pretty sure I saw the underground seep, but that's weird. They have 4 cards in hand on their turn. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So there's the Brainstorm. That turns every card in their hand into a maybe. Okay, next game. I'm gonna try and find a list that is similar to this. That way I can actually kind of figure out what they're sideboarding. This is kind of that list. They played Surgicals, and I believe that's it. Okay. So I'm gonna bring in Fairy Macabres, and that's probably gonna be about it. One interesting use case for Fairy Macabre is to discard it and exile whatever they're targeting with your Surgical Extraction. It's kind of a fringe use case, but it stops them from getting all of your cards. And we're just going to cut 3 once upon a times. The classic triple grief hand. They mulliganed into some form of graveyard hate. Okay, so we may wind up in the exact situation that I mentioned a moment ago, where you Fairy Macabre your own target. One thing that I could consider doing here actually is just griefing them right now. Pitch the Stinkweed Imp to grief. I think we're gonna do that. So this sets us back a couple turns, which obviously is not ideal, but it'll keep them off of whatever it is that they're doing. So in this case, we're probably going to take this Day's Undoing. So now we're going to stare at them for a couple turns. The best card that we could possibly draw on this turn would be a Street Wraith. Nether Shadow is a distant 10th. So we'll pitch our Grave Troll, and we'll see what they wind up doing here. Brainstorm is fine. We're most likely going to grief them out of the game on this coming turn cycle. I guess it just depends on what they're doing here. Cling to Dust. Okay, that's a very good one. So on their upkeep, we're going to set a stop on their upkeep. So we're going to pitch this Grave Troll. We will Fairy Macabre their Cling to Dust. And then potentially have to Fairy Macabre again. So we'll pitch. Wait, we didn't get our stop. That is very awkward. I was pretty confident that I clicked that. So depending on whether they shuffled away their Snapcaster Mage with that Brainstorm and Scalding Tarn, we could still get this Cling to Dust. It's just very awkward, the situation that we just put ourselves in. And there's also still a good chance they don't have a land. Snapcaster Mage. They're just laying it out there. Okay, they're targeting Ponder. So we'll go for Ponder and Clean to Dust. Okay, they have a Lightning Bolt potentially. They just kind of gave us free value there by trying to go for that main phase Ponder. Those were all pretty good dredges. Have no complaints there. We're going to go ahead and Grief. Probably exiling this Nether Shadow. I want to keep this Fairy Macabre as long as I can. What are we? They're bolting me. Oh, just to get a card out of their hand. Don't care about Force of Will. We'll take Kolaghan's Command. Narset. Don't think that matters too much. Currently, at least. Cling to Dust. Okay. On the bright side, I can't imagine they're playing more than 2 Cling to Dust. So we'll activate Phantaz. Pitch, pitch, pitch. Any orders? Fine. Let's see if they try to cling the Icarid. That would make the most sense. Yep, Cling to Dust on Icarid. We'll go ahead and take this. So we'll go there and Days Undoing. Get back Nether Shadow. Dread 6. We're going to go ahead and Grief here, simply because we want the bridge tokens while we can get them. And we'll take this Forcible out of their hand. Basically we're hedging against them top decking exactly Days Undoing. Our goal here is just to leave them with nothing in hand, nothing on board. All right, Narset. Sorin the Mirthless. Okay, that's a good card. Okay. It reveals a lightning bolt. Probably would have been worth it to take that trade, if we're being honest. Because that would have got us another nether shadow, plus it would have got us to... And making him burn the bolt is not the end of the world. Dredge. Always yes. Always yield. So we have another bridge here. We got the price amalgam here. We're gonna kill Soren, or put Soren to 1. Basically, regardless, we're okay with this. We're giving up one of our last bridges. Okay, they have a mystery card. Probably something useless like a Day's Undoing. Pardon the fireworks going off in the background. I don't know if that'll pick up on the mic, but I live in a inner city, and there are people setting off fireworks basically all day, every day, for the entire summer, since from Memorial Day all the way through probably like Labor Day. You know it's bad when my cats, who are pretty skittish, aren't even affected by it anymore. One, two, three, 4, 7, 9. So we'll hit him for 7 and kill Soren, barring a removal spell. Kolaghan's Command. That's fine. They go to 7. That Snapcaster Mage is very awkward, but it's not the end of the world for us. Making a token. I think we're just going to go ahead and cast the Hogak as well. No reason to really run into this Snapcaster Mage until we're truly good to go. So black, black, Once Upon a Time, Grief, Street Wraith, Fairy Macabre. He could hard cast a Force of Will, and then we can just cast this again. I think we're just going to pass here. We could run these two Narcomoebas in. He would gain one and we would get 2 tokens. I don't think it's worth it. We're so far ahead in this game that it would take us throwing away our board position. Alright, here's Snapcaster Mage. Probably Kolagon's Command, getting back Baleful Strix. And shooting down something. Potentially shooting down his Snapcaster Mage. I think that's what he's doing, yeah. He'll get my bridge, which is fine. At this point, we're past bridge from below mattering all that much. Unless he plays, like, Damnation or something. Baleful Strix doesn't do it for him. Pretty confident that this game's over. 19 cards in library, so we're good there. We could Cabal Therapy just to make sure that we're clear, but I don't know what he could have that would matter. We're just going to Alpha Strike. We can Cabal Therapy post-combat. I don't want to overthink this. Fire Ice, I guess, could tap Hogak, but we're just going to send the crew. Return all attacking creatures or something. Petty Theft, that's fine. So probably block, take 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to 1. Oh, they're still dead, unless they have removal. Okay, they had a lightning bolt too. Zero cards in hand, we don't need to Cabal Therapy. What we could do is Therapy ourselves for Phantasmagorian. That way we can guarantee the Nether Shadow. We're already guaranteed Nether Shadow. What am I saying? We're okay. We can just continue. Okay. Well, we are 3-0. I'll see you guys in the next round. All right, round 4. We are currently 3-0. We have another terrible hand. We're gonna keep it. We're lacking a dredger. If we draw one, we have plenty of action. We just might be too far behind if we miss it a couple turns in a row. Ask and we shall receive. Probably Reanimator. This could be the scam deck. If it was scam, it's probably Doomsday. Nope, Reanimator. Just all over the place here. Okay, Atraxa. Reanimate. Okay. Does the game log actually show what they take? Reanimator's a rough one, game one. It's unlikely that we pull this game out, but based on what they've revealed, we're not dead right away. We could hit 4 Creeping Chills and just send them to the Shadow Realm. So Polluted Delta, Force of Will, Thoughtseize, Atraxa. Polluted Delta, Lotus Petal, Atraxa, Thoughtseize, Force of Will. Okay. Thoughtseize on their part would be pretty irrelevant. Targeting us, so targeting them makes sense. Or targeting us is fine still. They'll take our grief, but that is what it is. We're just going to pitch our whole hand here. All right, pitch, pitch, pitch. Any order's fine, and then pitch, pitch, pitch. So Grief for Icarid. Dredge Grave Troll, we'll Creeping Chill once. We will Cabal Therapy. They might force this. We will go for Reanimate. Actually, Reanimate is fairly irrelevant here. No, it's not, because they can attack with Atraxa. It doesn't matter, they force a will. Okay. So from here, next turn we get to attack for a bunch. We might be able to outrace the lifelink as long as they don't have another reanimate spell. Uh, as unlikely as that is, what did they exile? Atraxa. Okay. So we only know one card in their hand. As unlikely as it is that we can outrace this, we're actually in better shape than one would expect. So they're going to 13. The vigilance is so awkward. I didn't realize that they had vigilance. That's so good. So we're going to have to do a lot of damage all at once. There's probably no chance that we win this game, but we will keep on fighting. Iona, Shield of Emeria. Iona really doesn't matter all that much, actually. So we're not really casting any more spells for the rest of the game. Anyway. Alright, so Icarid time. One Icarid. Do we exile one of the prize amalgams? Probably. I think we have to. Gives us a lot more power on board. That was pretty good dredge. So if they block, they gain 7, take 9, and we get 3 tokens. Okay, we're officially outpacing at least the blocks. Cabal therapy them. I think we're taking Animate Dead. Days. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so we get Prize Amalgam, and then we'll get another one at the end of their turn. We'll get 2 Icarids and a Dredge 5. They're going to go up to 17. They'll go up to 24 on a block. Okay, they scoop. We actually managed to outpace that. That felt pretty good. So we're definitely rolling Fairy Macabre. We could bring in Sickening Shoal, as it can kill pretty much any of their creatures as long as we have one of our bigger guys. I'm going to see what they pack for Graveyard Hate of their own. Probably Surgicals and Fairy Macabres. Yeah, they typically run Fairy Macabre. That said, I think that we're probably happy with these cards. We might not even want these Sickening Shoals, if we're being honest. We'll go ahead and cut the four Sickening Shoals. Probably go down 2 Once Upon a Time, 4 Once Upon a Time. Bring in a Sickening Shoal. It's highly unlikely that this will ever matter, especially as a 1-of in our deck. We could bring in Force of Wills to fight, but then we'd have dead cards for their discard. The way that we really lose this game is they animate on turn 1 and we don't have bridges to kind of outpace that. Or they just disrupt us turn after turn after turn until they're ready to go off. Our opponent has disconnected. Alright, I'm going to cut and I'll come back when they're back. All right, so we're into the game. They haven't returned yet, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to cut again, and I'll come back when they return, if they return. Okay, they're back. They have chosen to play first. Our hand is pretty soft about everything, but it's a 7-card hand. I think the best case scenario for us would just be to draw a Fairy Macabre off the top. Otherwise, things are going to be pretty awkward pretty quick. So just going in on a careful study. I guess if they go turn 1 Atraxa, that's pretty awkward. We beat it last turn, or last game, but we don't have any sort of hope right now. If they go Animate Dead into Thoughtseize, we probably just scoop. Okay, nothing there. As far as hand disruption. A lot of bad stuff for us, but... So now I think our best possible draw would be Phantasmagorian. Try to outrace them the exact same way as before. I just realized that I've been shuffling cards in my hand. I apologize for that. I wonder if they took out their hand disruption. Because they brought a lot of these cards look like sideboard cards. Well, specifically the show and tell, but... Okay, Underground Sea, Days, Show and Tell, and Atraxa. Shambling Shell doesn't quite do it for us. We're probably in trouble. We'll pitch a Grave Troll. So, high key, what probably our best draw there could have been was obviously it would have been Phantasmagorian, but a Stinkweed Imp would have been pretty solid. They show and tell. We show and tell in a Stinkweed Imp. It's awkward for them. Okay, so they are show and telling. We're probably just gonna put in Shambling Shell or Narcomoeba. Probably Narcomoeba. Um, Pretty comfortable scooping it up here. We'll give our first dredge. Do we want to give away our sideboard? Probably not. So we're just gonna go ahead and scoop it up. Let's go to game 3. Pretty happy with what we brought in. I think I'm just gonna roll with this. Reanimator is one of our worst matchups. Mono Black Helm is by far the worst, but then probably Reanimators after that. Back in Reanimator's heyday, one of my best games of Magic ever was actually against Reanimator. And this was with the Grizzlebrand Dryad Arbor build of the deck, or of Manaless Dredge, and I was pretty happy with how I played that match out. I was able to trade off a Stinkweed Imp with a Grizzlebrand at one point. I attacked for, I think, 35 through a Grizzlebrand and a Inkwell Leviathan. It was pretty cool. I very much enjoyed that game. I think I beat 2 surgical extractions and a ley line or something like that with just Nature's Claims and Street Wraiths. That matchup has changed quite a bit in the days of Atraxa and Archon of Cruelty. Still pretty much the same deck, just with much better threats. I don't even think they play Grizzlebrand anymore. Some lists do, looks like. Alright, our opponent's taking a minute again. I'm going to cut, and I will return during the game. Alright, we're back. We will choose to draw. This is a hand with magic cards in it. No dredgers again. So this is the third game out of 7 or 6 or 7 that we have had no dredgers. We got to keep. All right, give us something good. Nether Shadow is not something good. We're actually we're far enough off from dredging. We're going to go ahead and do this. Probably just going to daze this, which is fine. But it takes a piece of disruption out of their hand. They're brainstorming to hide. That's fine as well. Probably going to be 3-1. We have 2 turns to draw a dredger at this point. Potentially a lot less. I think our best possible out would be to draw a Fairy Macabre next turn, have them miss, and then us draw Fairy Macabre. All right. Grief resolves. Okay. We'll simply take this Animate Dead. Their own grief is literally just Time Walk. We double Time Walked ourselves for the most part. We're just going to be spending most of this game feeling bad about our lives. Douthie Voidwalker. Okay. We have a single Sickening Shoal in our 60 right now that is actually an out. So there's grief. We'll go ahead and just scoop it up. That's the end. Draw a card, draw a card, draw a card. Yeah, we weren't even hitting dredgers anyway. That's fine. We stole game 1 against Reanimator. It was actually a pretty fun game. Let's go into round 5 and see if we can get a 4-1. All right, we were playing against the Last Fish. We'll take the draw. This hand is incredible. Let's see what they have for us. The only thing that would make this hand better would be probably another Dredger. Or maybe another Street Wraith. I'm not sure. We will definitely keep. Okay, they kept 7. Flooded Strand pass. That's probably ideal for us. Just getting Phantasmagorian into our graveyard feels pretty good. Narcomoeba's not the best draw, but that's fine. Okay, we'll pitch Phantaz. Just no turn to Rest in Peace. Some random, like, Azorius Helm deck or something. Okay, hold control. Grave Troll, Nether Shadow, Bridge. Cycle. All right. I was definitely meant to only activate the 1, but it is what it is. Probably gonna swords this Icarid. They could be on like Doomsday. Pretty straightforward game here so far. Just bringing dudes back and attacking. We have no idea what our opponent's playing at this point. Alright, we get like 45 Prize Malcolm triggers. Icarid gets us a bridge token. Oh, they might swords here. Tundra. Brainstorm. Okay. We can just F6. It doesn't matter what we do here. Feeling pretty good about our position going into this next turn. Especially if they don't swords this. Yeah, we get a bridge token. So they're pretty far off from a sweeper. They're pretty far off from most of anything. We're attacking for 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're feeling pretty good here. Just randomly going rest in peace would be pretty awkward, even now, because they could go rest in peace and then stabilize it too. I'm not sure what they could have that would actually get them out of this game. Ponder is definitely not it. Yeah. All right, game 2. I'm going to look at, see if there's any decks similar to this, just kind of Esper Control style. There's actually a good chance it could just be like a Uro Control style deck. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in our Force of Vigors. I'm gonna consider our Force of Wills. I believe in these matchups, we just probably board out Griefs. We'll just go from here. This could be like a Jeskai Stoneblade deck. Could be Blue Zenith. Could be straight Azorius Control. We didn't really get a whole lot of information, so hard to tell. This hand is very good as well. 2 Narcomoebas is awkward, but 2 Narcomoebas and a Creeping Chill are all awkward, but we'll keep this in. Bridge is decent. The Street Wraith is probably going to do a lot of work for us, because it can get our Grave Troll back at instant speed so we can Force a Vigor. Plus, it'll let us avoid Graveyard Hate. We're just going to take this a little bit slow here. We'll go ahead and just Dredge. Phantasmagorium was a great draw. Nether Shadow is good too, obviously. We're probably just going to pitch probably the Bridge. Could pitch Bridge or Nether Shadow here. We'll just pitch bridge. I have a feeling we're playing against like a Stoneblade deck. No, we are not. Okay. We'll end of turn activate Phantaz. Boop, boop, boop. We probably won't be activating it a second time though. I'd like to keep the Street Wraith. Yeah, we'll just roll this way. They might be thinking about doing something. Okay, so untap. We'll get one of these Nether Shadows back. They're thinking about doing something. Alright, that was a pretty good dredge. So we'll attack. We'll definitely Cabal Therapy here. We're just going to go for Swords to Plowshares, I'm pretty sure. Brainstorm. Days. That's fine. Nope, we're good. If anybody knows why I have to click no twice on this days, please let me know. It's mildly frustrating. Step through wizard cycling. Oh, this is cephalid breakfast. Okay. Good to know. We may be dead. Cephalid illusionist. It's fine. Shuko. Okay, we're actually okay. Just don't have a second counter spell. They had a daze. Do we have any answers to this? I don't think we do. Nope, we're dead. So we won Fairy Macabre for game 3. We'll cycle. Alright, we're dead. Alright, so final game of the morning. We will bring in 3 Fairy Macabre. We'll shave 1 Force of Vigor. Let's make sure that we're looking at the right decks. I believe that they are a Surgical Extraction deck for the most part. Now that they saw the forces, it might just be worth it to take them out entirely. Probably want these Griefs back in. Creeping Chill might not be the one. And probably shave 2 Once Upon a Times. Probably all the Once Upon a Times and just bring in all the Force of Vigors. It's the same number of green cards regardless. We'll take the draw. This hand has hate. It has street wraiths. Has no dredger. We can live with it. We'll keep. So in a perfect world, we just provide no resistance, they go for it, and then we get them at the end. That's fine. We'll go ahead and cycle a Street Wraith. Show weakness. We'll cycle the other Street Wraith. We really want to incentivize them to try and go for it. So we'll just make it plain as day to them that we are struggling. Fine. Here's Narcomoebas. Cabal Therapy is awkward. That's fine. They named Surgical Extraction. Okay, so we still have our Fairy Macabre. They know about it, so they're probably not going to go all in, but that's good to know. And most of these decks, from my 5 seconds of research, only play a single Cabal Therapy. I wish they would have hit that significantly later in this process, but it's fine. All 4 Street Wraiths. That is amazing. We are going to start to get beat down. We're not on a insignificant clock. Alright, Thug is a lot better than Shoal or Shell. We're going to discard a Nether Shadow here. Step Through is fine. So they're going to get the Thassa's Oracle now. I mean, we just have to stay the course here. We're not likely to win this game at this point. They hit for 3. Okay, let's dredge 4. We get an Archamoeba. 'Amoeba. 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 We need Cabal therapy pretty bad. Okay, we, I believe, are just dead. Trying to think. I don't think that there's anything we can do here. Yep, that's it for us. All right. Well, we managed to pull a 3-2. We got a qualifier point. We got enough play points to play another league. Um, Overall, I was pretty happy with how the deck played. We lost to a couple of the worst matchups that we have. Um, so just kind of circling back and summarizing what we had going on here. I think I still feel like Force of Will might be too weak here. Once Upon a Time is by far the worst card in our deck. We may just go back to like Chancellor of the Annex there. Um, the problem being that that takes us another 4 cards out of Force of Vigor, and that's already our kind of saving grace in this deck. Um, Beyond that, I feel like we played pretty well. Even when we were struggling just with meta knowledge and all of that, we managed to make some games close. We pulled out a game against Reanimator that was pretty fun, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this takes us. I may have another revision when we see each other again. I may not. Thank you. If you, as always, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.